Hello, welcome back to the Chicken Coop project, the Chicken Hotel, the Chicken Palace, Chicken and Palace. We're going to continue on with the project today. It's a little bit cooler today, which is nice. We've been out in the sun for the last few days, so looking forward to making some progress, but not getting sunburnt. So this is where we got to in the last video. Do go and check that out if you've not seen it yet. We did all the framing. There are a few extra features that we need to put in before we continue on. The most important one is the nest boxes. But today and in this video, the plan is to try and get it predator proofed with some wire mesh, get a roof on, and probably a few other bits and pieces as well. We are also going to be cladding the entire structure, although not the cage. We'll see how far we get with that as well. Are you looking forward to more chicken coop building? Or are you just looking forward to chickens?
I want my chickens. I'm very sore and tired.
You're always sore and tired.
I know. This life we chose.
You're just slacking off drinking coffee.
Trying to wake up, preparing myself for the
day ahead.
Yeah. We're going to use all this wrap.
So I've been working on the nest boxes and I've just been doing a bit of testing because I want to make sure that everything works mechanically as well as aesthetically. So the idea is that this slides into the house framing and is fixed down into one of the bits of bracing, and later on it will also be screwed to the side wall as well to kind of keep it all in square. And then we've got this piece which sits on the back. I just put some blocks in place to help me keep everything square, and also to make sure we get all the right placement of things. And the idea is that this will hinge down like this, so that we can then reach in and steal the eggs. One of the things that I was a bit concerned about was the hinges, because they can attach nicely into this piece of OSB going down, but then on this bit here, they need to kind of go into the end grain, which I was a bit worried about. But here is a test that I prepared earlier because I didn't want to screw into my correctly cut pieces. And with just a couple of screws, there is another one that I can put in here. This is super solid, and we've got no kind of blowout on the screws, so I'm very happy with that, and I'm going to go ahead and put some hinges onto this. I know that a lot of chicken coop designs have like an opening lid at the top, but then because of the hinge placement and stuff, there is a risk of water tracking down the back, and getting water into the nest boxes would be a bad thing. So we've gone for this kind of back opening door. I saw it on a YouTube video somewhere and thought it was a good idea. And then the cladding that we put on the front will also prevent water from being able to travel in. It will run down the cladding onto the roof and away. At least that's the plan. Happy with that? Ta-da! Okay, good. How are we going to keep that in place? That's an excellent question. Sort of works. Alright, it's not perfect.
Bit of sanding on the edge.
I wasn't sure if it was long enough to do it this way. So that's fine. Do you want me to leave you to it?
No, can you come and give me a hand with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Sometimes I miss. Doesn't drive the nails in as far as I would like, but
You can. There's an adjustment
yes,
on the back.
it's already
Oh, it's already
at
adjusted.
full speed, at full depth. I don't think I actually need to do this one.
You don't, but that's okay. If we ever want to remove the cage,
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to pull it from here?
It needs to go up on its end, I think. You will really struggle to pull it. That's what I was doing. Okay. Now bring it and take it over the top. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, be careful. Oh, watch my fingers.
Sorry. Okay.
Thanks.
Like I was saying at lunchtime, it may be easier to attach up here and then pull down to get it tight, rather than attach
Yeah,
at the bottom and pull up.
That's kind of what I'm going to do. I need to line it up first so that I can find out where it goes here. I don't want to have to cut it. Don't worry.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Understood. Cool.
Thank you.
Welcome. I suppose you could bring me a couple of clamps, could you?
Wait, why can't you do it?
Well, I could, but then I'd have to do this all over again. I'm now regretting not cutting 3 of these at the same time. I didn't have enough pieces to cut.
Good job.
Thanks very much. Look at that! It's a perfect egg stealing height.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of these in terms of the chickens, but once you cover it with straw, it'll be fine, right?
I think so.
There's something wrong with them, my love.
No, it's a snug fit.
You could also recess these if you wanted to, but
No, the OSB is not so easy to do that though. I mean, there is a bit of a draft in here, but
yeah.
the alternative is that I actually run a batten all the way across, but I don't know if we've got enough pieces to do that. I mean, I mostly use these so I could attach all the bits. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it works. Getting good at this measuring stuff. That's much nicer. No, there's no eggs yet. Need some clippy things, some cladding, and a roof. But I'm quite pleased with that, although it took all bloody day. I wasn't expecting it to be so fiddly, but even though we did a design in advance, and this is actually pretty spot on to the design, when you're actually doing it for reals, it is, you know, trying to work out what order, where do the overhangs go, is always an interesting challenge, at least for me, because I'm not a proper builder or a carpenter or a chicken expert or anything like that. But this is coming together really nicely. Let's see what Kylie's been up to. Hi, you look less frustrated than you were earlier.
Oh, when I was doing that corner, yes. It's surprisingly
difficult, fiddly, annoying.
Yeah, you really have to wrangle it when you want to do turns and things, and I've only cut myself twice, so...
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
Nice work. I think it's looking great.
It'll be better when it's got cladding.
For sure, yeah. Yeah. Well, hide the crimes, as Adam Savage says. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, it is unwieldy.
Stop.
Stopping. What? I think this is one of the first intentionally not a prototype, not a temporary structures that we've ever built.
Yeah, maybe.
Everything else
is still version 1.0.
It is. I'm sure we'll make improvements over time as we work out what we like and what we don't like. It's like, for the first time, we've tried to build something well thought out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people will disagree that we've done that. Okay, it's another day on the chicken coop build. I think this is day 5 in total, but the second day for this video. We've got a few threatening clouds and it's due to rain a little bit this evening. So the plan for today is to try and get a roof on and to start the process of some of the cladding around the house to weatherproof it a little bit. We have challenges with the cladding, but I'll explain those a little bit later on. So,
didn't take into account
the overhang. So, but what we could do is we could put it on here, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's do that.
Yeah.
Something very rare is happening. I'm thinking ahead in terms of cutting the length of the roofing material. We've got a scrap left over from when we did the shed build. We're using a lot of the same materials because we know where to get them and we have some experience with them and we like them. But I wanted to make sure that we cut this roof with enough overhang so when the water comes off, our fascia piece here doesn't get just dripping wet, but also to work out where our guttering is going to go, because we're going to harvest the rainwater from this roof into a barrel, which the chickens can then use as their drinking water. So the original plan was to mount these gutter brackets, not at this height, but onto the cladding on the outside here, but then the water would overshoot it. So we'll mount the guttering onto the fascia, which I think is a little bit more traditional anyway, and then we can overhang this roof by kind of half that distance.
wish this weather would make up its mind.
So thank you, lovely person who told us about the WD-40 on the saw for cutting bitumen roof material. It's a great tip. Thanks very much. Makes a bit of a racket there.
What are you talking about?
You need to hold it?
Yep. Maybe yes.
Maybe. Okay, time for a quick update, lovely people. We have got the roof on, the Angeline roof on the house, and the chicken wire or hardware cloth roof on the bird cage, the chicken run. And because we're using materials that we've used before, we have been trying to learn from some of the things that we didn't do so well last time, but also some of the things we didn't like. And I don't know if you can see in the background, somewhere around here. Don't know if you can see in the background here we have our shed, which is, we use it for our kitchen and for our solar equipment. We used Angeline on the roof there. We also had an OSB deck across the whole roof, which we thought was a bit overkill for the chicken coop. But to kind of make the sides nice, we put up this fascia, which is also sold by Angeline, the company who makes the roofing products. But it was a bit crap. The pieces were very short, they were only 1 meter long. There was lots of overlap, which meant there were lots of little gaps and holes and stuff, and it didn't really look very nice. So for this one we decided that we wanted to have a slightly cleaner profile with the fascia, and so we've used timber for this. So the same timber that we're going to use for the cladding, and we've kind of raised it up a little bit so that you can't really see the Angeline from 3 sides, but when we come around the back we can see it, because we actually want the rainwater to run off there. We're going to put some guttering on later to capture it. So yeah, we've got the Angeline roof on the top. There is hardware mesh underneath, so there's no way for anything getting in, even though we haven't got like proper soffits, is that what it's called? We haven't got anything in here or on the front. It's no big deal. Corner.
Oh, yeah, I'll check it correctly.
Okay, I mentioned that we were going to be cladding our chicken coop and that there's a challenge relating to that. So now is the time I thought I would explain. So we have some experience of cladding with this material, spruce, and when we built our shed, which is stud framed underneath and then clad like this, I really like the way it looks because it's got a little bit of depth and detail and texture to it. But it was a bit of a pain to install. Generally, it was a bit overkill. Although the thing that is good about this, in most cases, we had enough overlap, so when the timber shrunk a little bit, we didn't get any gaps. There are a couple of places where that did happen, but really nothing major, because there's also like a membrane under this, and then OSB around the stud framing. So we're not going to do this. What we are going to do is something similar to this, which is our solar shower, but here is where the challenge lies, right? So these are the same boards. They've been out here for almost a year now, and there's been quite a lot of shrinkage, and so these ones we just kind of butted up against each other, screwed them in place and walked away, because it's a solar shower, it's temporary while we're living here off grid whilst we're doing the house renovation. So the problem is that we get these gaps, and from our research, chickens need a draft-proof environment. So ventilation, yes, but drafts, no. Apparently that's bad, it's unsettling for them, and we do get quite strong winds here. So this is what we're being mindful of when it comes to the cladding. If we just cut these planks and butt them up against each other, screw them in or nail them in, then we will get some gaps open up and we will have a drafty chicken coop, which we understand to be a bad thing. So we considered buying some kind of tongue and groove product, but we couldn't find anything suitable in our area or online to get delivered. It's definitely one of the big challenges of being in this kind of remote interior of Portugal. But the tongue and groove concept gave us an idea that we might be able to use a router to create kind of like a tongue and groove, or more like an overlap or half lap type joint, so that when there is a bit of shrinkage, maybe 5 mil of shrinkage, we've still got enough overlap to keep the coop draft free. So Kylie's doing some experiments and some tests with that now. Let's go see how she's getting on. Hi.
Hi.
Do you have something ingenious to show me or a problem to explain?
Both.
Oh.
So the problem is that we know from using this spruce that over time it shrinks a little bit.
Oh, I explained that problem already.
Oh, right.
Do you have a genius solution to show me?
Wind out of my sails. Yeah, I did some tongue and grooves that aren't tongue and grooves. They're more like half laps.
That's almost exactly what I said.
Cut out a little rebate with the router so that then they overlap by, this is like 10 mil, 11 mil.
Can you just turn it on its end so we can see the profile of it?
Yeah, I can do.
Oh yes, look at that. Beautiful.
And then they're going to
just
go
slot
like
over the top.
that.
Nice.
And then when they shrink a little bit, they will become this genius design shadow gap.
Like a design improvement.
Or just a gap.
Yeah, it will look really nice.
The thing I have to remember as always is the edges don't need routing.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be quite a bit of measuring and
oh
stuff.
my god, it's going to be days of
routing.
Routing.
But you love playing with the router.
I do love playing with the router.
Yeah, look at that. That's very cool.
That's how it's going to be.
It's going to look kind of rustic, but also kind of intentional.
And the reason for doing this is not only because it's going to shrink, but we don't want drafts in where the chickens are.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, you did it all. I don't know what my job here is really, other than, you know,
building.
labourer.
That's usually my job.
Digging and cutting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually my job. Cool. That's worked so much better than I was even hoping it would. So that's great.
Are you saying I'm a genius?
No. Huh?
I have to do a second pass.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's too much material otherwise.
It's quite time consuming, hey?
Just as well I enjoy it, hey?
Yeah, right. So welcome back to a new day. The rains have been, and I think they have gone and are not coming back today, hopefully. We did have a tiny bit of damage on the nest boxes. There was a bit of water that got in here, mostly because I made a mistake and didn't leave my overhang on the roof long enough. So I'm gonna have to work out something to do with that, but it's not a major priority for right now. The main priority is still to get as much of the cladding on as possible. But before we completely encase it, one thing that we need to do is put in some roosting bars. And we like the kind of rustic, natural, reclaimed variety. Here is an example of something that we're looking into using. This is actually a little bit thin, but the idea is we're going to use these leftover branches from our olive harvest last year as the roosting bars. So we're going to set 2 of them up, kind of like here, something like that, and another one on the other side, something like that, maybe. But I did a bit of research, and apparently we need 2 to 5 inches in diameter for these bars. So I'm going to see So I'm going to see if I can find the thickest bits we've got, rig up some supports or brackets or something for them, and get those attached before we go too much further. And I think Kylie is mostly going to be setting up a routing station and preparing our cladding.
Another one there to hold it in place.
And then I'll come in and tap them in.
Yeah. We're okay with the tiny little gap.
Yes, but they're not.
It's because the boards are not 100% straight.
Yeah, of course. You can use the mallet and tap them over a bit more. Tap them into place. That is.
Just the way it is when it's a rustic build.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You happy with that?
I think that's great. That's amazing. It's not so amazing that it took all day.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, I know. Looks great though. Really good. You made a lot of sawdust today.
Yeah. Chicken door.
Oh yeah, the chicken door. Yes, I know it's a chicken coop. But we like to make nice things. Hi, so you've not heard much from us in the last couple of days because we've just been working hard at trying to get this thing done. It's still not done, mostly because cutting and routing and overlapping all of the pieces for the cladding is proving tricky. Next time we do a carpentry project, we will make sure that we have a better setup better tools, or the right tools for the job at least. It makes such a huge difference. I mean, we have a router, it's great, it's fantastic for small detail things, but without a router table where everything is level and you can lock stuff into place so it doesn't move, it's very tricky. We're very pleased with how it's coming on. We're frustrated that it's not done yet. But we always try and push ourselves with these kinds of projects, and we never give ourselves enough time. We think, yeah, how hard can it be? Chicken coop. I watched a 7-minute video on YouTube and it was all done, so it can't take more than a couple of days, right? I think this is day 6, maybe 7 since we started. Yeah, we're getting there, but it's fiddly. And we like to show you the reality of this kind of stuff, not just, oh, isn't it beautiful, we made a nice chicken coop full of chickens jumping around having a good time. We will get to that very soon, or soonish. But yeah, this is real life, and it's not always as easy and simple and problem-free as sometimes it looks on TV. So anyway, we're going to see what we can get done before the end of the day, and yeah, the rain is coming tomorrow for 2 days, so I'm probably going to have to just cover this end with a tarp just to keep some of the water out. Yeah, it is what it is, but we will get it done eventually. It's been snowing.
How long are these nails?
There's still a clamp on it, it might not be.
I'm so tired. Ah!
Hi, this is Guy from the future. As you may have noticed, this video is running quite long, and where we left it, tensions were running a little bit high. So I think this is probably a good time to call a break, and we'll call this the end of part 2. But as you can perhaps see behind me, there is still a lot more to come with this chicken coop build, including some things that we did in this video that we redo in the next video. So lots more chicken cooping to come, lots more design improvements, and perhaps even a little bit more frustration. But thanks for sticking with us through the first 2 parts of this now 3-part series. We wanted to get it all done in 2 parts, but there was just so much to do on this build, including all the doors and the locks and different kind of hinges and the predator proofing apron down the bottom. So we have all of that fun to come in the next episode, so do stick around and join us then to see how we finish this project. This is like 8 days later and it's still not quite finished, but we will get there and we will have chickens and it will be awesome. So thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.